Hi guys, it's Alan. No one's too long on this. It was just helping people maybe to understand how this could happen because and it's actually the technology, but it's a pretty, when you think about it, somewhat of an easier. All it takes is a person to be under anesthesia, and if people in the hospital know that they can get away with murder or torture and get paid a lot of money as long as they sign non-disclosures and no one's going to come after them. It takes all the threat and all the fear away, and all that gets in the way then is their moral scruples, their beliefs, their drain the swamp mentality. But if they really, in deep down, if they don't care about any of that, which when you're part of this program, you realize they don't care about it. Never did. Because you can go 30 years of this and them not tell you. Anyway, it's just the idea that when you're under anesthesia, whether it's a broken arm, broken leg, it'd be very easy for a person with a smidgen of training, because they do deal with pacemakers and all that kind of stuff all the time, for someone to put in under your side of your heart, your chest, a continuous low current electrical current implant, and you put it on underneath the side here on your left. And what it does is, because it's after an operation, you're under anesthesia, you wake up and it takes weeks to feel, days, slowly you live your life, get stronger, and you start getting stronger, but you notice after days and weeks you got a side pain, you're feeling kind of depression, but it's a continual thing underneath your left side. And what nobody tells you is that somebody puts this continuous electrical low frequency charge underneath the left side. It causes a small amount of continual pain, and sometimes just this electrical jolt, just Havana syndrome. It's like a boom, it feels like a heart attack when you have it, but you're too young. In my case, 15, 16, and you're getting these jolts, shocks to the heart, the chest, and you don't know what it is, so you just try to think, well, psychosomatic stress, whatever. You tell somebody. If they know about it, they're not even able to tell, or won't tell, because it's a non-disclosure that they signed. And it took me years, because it wasn't until a few times, actually 30 years, of continually and having pain meds, which I was very thankful for doctors. I asked to send to a specialist, and they sent me to specialist, and so I was very thankful for that. You're in pain, and all you know is you want someone to help you either fix it or fix the problem of pain. And you hope they fix it if they know what it is. And no, it never occurs to you the whole idea of experimentation, or that the people in your hometown would be part of something like this. It's a very religious, conservative, drain the swamp town, evangelical. We even have weekday school of the Bible in our secular schools. Oakdale in Dallas, Oakdale, Lyle, Whitworth. Weekday school of the Bible once a week in our secular schools still. And so you think they take it very seriously. You wouldn't think they would be into torture for money to a 15-year-old or a kid. Again, why would you think that? But when you get older and you realize, and you hear about V2K, and then what happens, you hear, in my case, you get this weird voice thing. You find out there's a name for it, and there's a community of people. We don't know how big this is, because we hear, first 2,000 and 10,000, then 10,000 and 100,000, maybe a million, during the pandemic, and we don't know. And then a lot of people were putting the idea that the vaccine was bringing this, spreading this to enslave the mankind and trying to make people feel like they're being, but anyway, what in the hospital, when you are waking up and they put this unbeknownst to you and you wake up with this current of low frequency electricity just constantly, you don't notice a difference. It's constantly going even when you're sleeping. And it wasn't until about 8-10 times where they just turn it off, and then your heart or your side just relaxes and it feels normal and you get your emotions back, and there's nothing that causes it. It's not like there's a new answer to prayer or a new revelation or a reason or something. It just for sometimes they can do that, especially if they have neural monitoring. They can coincide that with a good event or a shock to the heart with a bad event. You get a bad event, suddenly a shock to the heart. At the same time, you're getting devastating news. Or they can turn it off, make your heart feel great and normal during something wonderful. And some of the worst parts is that they'll manipulate people into making them think. See, they did this to me when I was studying for the ministry. And the idea of a town trying to PR this nightmare into, well, we're trying to bring you closer to God and faith. And I was doing this when I was studying, this happened to me when I was studying to be an evangelist, a theologian of the Pentecostal Assembly of God, variety, evangelical. And they still did this to me. Sophomore in high school, and then 2 years later, Bible college, and they still did this to me. Now, I thought maybe all this side pain and just constant, I thought, well, what could happen? Maybe it was my stress of studying theology, apologetics, because I was always thinking about this type of faith and doubt, the stress it causes it. Maybe it's psychosomatic or something, and then it's like, oh no, it's V2, the V2K, and there's technology. It's the same as Havana syndrome. Same thing, but they don't talk about the V2K with Havana syndrome. They just talk about chirping and crickets and things. Anyway, that's how, in my humble opinion, I'm not a doctor and the farthest from it, but when you had this continual side pain and then, and then you had it stop for a few hours, and then make it feel wonderful and just normal. And you realize nothing changed. You didn't take a new medication, or it just stopped. And then it relaxed and felt normal, wonderful. You get your emotions back. And then a few hours later, for whatever reason, it just comes back. And then it's like, first you prayed, did you healed or something? And then you realize V2K, oh, it's a technology. And then the zapping, then you see the bioethics thing at the White House in 2011 and 2012. Other people are complaining of the same thing, getting zapped in the heart and the chest, and it's the same thing. They put during anesthesia, putting an electrical current, you wake up, you live with this electrical current, even when you're sleeping, and they have enough money and your body produces enough electrical current, maybe to supply off that too, or wireless. But then when they turn it off and then allows your heart, your side to relax and emotions come right back. See, what happens is that during this time, it feels like there's an area right here, like a round area, where it's just blocks off your side. It feels like you can't feel your emotion in that area, or it's just an awareness of a side pain, and the diameter of that area is just pain, but you can't get the muscle to relax enough to. And then you get these currents of jolts of electricity. And it wasn't until 7-8 times for a few hours each time. Now sometimes I've had a couple times just for 10 seconds too, where it just, and then 10-30 seconds later it just comes back. You don't know what the heck to make of it. And then you realize, oh, the L-free rally, the bioethics at the White House in 2011, 2012. Oh, I'm a guinea pig. And they did this to me. I was just, don't know. There could be a small number of us. It's the same thing as Havana syndrome. It was getting embarrassing to our government. So they had to, blame it on Cuba, blame it on China, Russia. The CIA had finally said, well, we know it's not a foreign enemy. It's not a foreign government adversary. So who's left? It's our own government doing it to us as guinea pigs. So anyway, that's my theory. Makes sense. And I'm going to go make some dinner. So I'll talk to you later, okay? Okay.